If you've ever felt like your money is shrinking in your hands, groceries up, rent up, everything up, you're not imagining it. Now zoom out. This isn't just a modern problem. Across history, when governments got squeezed by war, debt, or political pressure, they often reached for the same lever. Sometimes it looked like shaving silver off coins. Sometimes it looked like printing paper notes. Today, it can look like expanding money and credit while trust quietly erodes. In the ancient world, money was often metal: gold, silver, copper. A coin wasn't just a token, it was a specific weight and purity of metal. Debasement meant cheating that promise, reduce silver content, add base metals, and mint more coins from the same pile. That gap between face value and metal value is seigniorage, profit for the issuer. In modern fiat systems, we don't debase a silver coin, but the rhyme is this: increase the quantity of money and credit faster than real goods and services, and you dilute purchasing power. Not identical, but it can feel identical at the checkout. Let's start with Rome, because Rome shows the full arc: steady pressure, debasement, distrust, and crisis management. The denarius began as a high silver coin. Over time, as the empire's costs grew, its silver content fell. Emperors faced a brutal equation: pay soldiers, maintain borders, buy political stability without enough revenue. So Rome minted more coins with less silver. By the 3rd century, the Antoninianus was marketed like 2 denarii, but contained less than 2 denarii worth of silver. Here's the pattern: more money chases the same goods, prices rise. People hoard the good money and spend the bad. Confidence cracks, and when money stops being trusted, economies don't just inflate, they can fragment. States often respond with controls and coercion, usually making things worse. Fast forward to 16th century England. Henry VIII had expensive wars and expensive tastes. The crown wanted money fast, so it reduced the precious metal content of the coinage. This period became known as the Great Debasement. People noticed physically. The silver coating wore off, revealing copper beneath, earning Henry the nickname Old Copper Nose. And again, good coins disappear, hoarded, melted, exported, while bad coins dominate daily trade. Trade partners discount your currency when they don't trust it. Now Germany in the early 1600s, a patchwork of states. War spending surged, governments needed funding, so mints began producing lower quality coinage. Debasement became cross-border arbitrage. Bad coins exchanged for good coins, melted and reminted, spreading the problem. Trust contagion. Once confidence breaks, it spreads. Metal debasement is one route. Paper is another, and revolutionary France shows the danger. France issued assignats, initially linked to land sales. The idea sounded disciplined, but political reality interfered. More spending pressure meant more issuance. Once confidence cracked, the currency spiraled, and people fled into real goods. Across these stories, debasement shows up when 4 pressures converge: war and security, debt and deficits, political survival, and weak constraints. The effects follow a familiar arc: short-term relief, rising prices, hoarding and flight, controls, and instability. Debasement isn't just economics, it's a trust event. So how does this compare to today? Today isn't Rome. And most advanced economies aren't in hyperinflation. But the early 2020s saw a huge inflation shock. More recently, inflation cooled, but the memory remains. People felt a rapid loss of purchasing power in a short time. And in the pandemic era, money and credit expanded fast, while supply shocks hit too. This is not the same as shaving silver from coins. But the trust question rhymes. One trust signal: gold. When uncertainty rises, gold often reflects hedging and fear. Another: central banks accumulating gold, often interpreted as diversification. The dollar remains dominant, but the world discusses alternatives more openly. Geopolitics can change perceptions of reserve safety. Dominant doesn't mean invincible. Credibility is continuously renewed or quietly spent. So, debasement isn't just ancient coin shaving, it's the recurring temptation to solve hard budget problems with monetary tools. And the real damage isn't only prices, it's planning, contracts, investment, and social cohesion. Gold rising doesn't prove collapse, but it can be a signal of hedging, risk, and distrust. History suggests a sober lesson. When credibility weakens, people price in distrust, and that can reshape entire societies. If you want a part 2 on how currencies restore trust through reforms and credible constraints, comment, restore.